Good day to you. Welcome to the podcast, Catch It, A New Perception. My name is Katuk. I hope today finds you well. Just wondering, what if you found everything you need for emotional and mental balance was internal, not external? What if you realize that it's all inside of you? All of the solutions that you need will be found inside of you, not outside, not external. What if you realize that fundamental idea of God, the Creator, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever that is? What if that fundamental idea of that power is deep down inside of every man, woman, and child? Every one of us. So it's internal. How do we find that when it's internal? Again, this may be the entire essence of this podcast, is to realize that you have it inside of you already. The solution that you need for emotional, mental, and physical balance and well-being is already inside of you. Now, the idea of how we bring that out has been broadcast in over 100 episodes of this podcast. And if you're listening on any other form other than YouTube, you can always go back to YouTube and hear any of these. They are all cataloged on my page at Catch It, A New Perception. And also moving forward, we're going to do things different starting next season, which will be not exclusive to YouTube. You just may find more content on YouTube than other things. So if you come back to YouTube, you may be able to find some of that. So internally, as we're looking for this resource, how do we find it? What is it? It is inside of each one of us, and you may not recognize that it's inside of you. If this helps, have you seen some people that you maybe admire, that you respect, and you've seen it inside of them? I've been in the presence of the Dalai Lama and some people who are very wonderful energy in this lifetime, to say the least. Wonderful energy. I see it inside of them. Now, I believe the first time I was in the presence of the Dalai Lama, it's been over 20 years now. And so I may have seen it inside of myself before that. At that point, I've known it's inside of me maybe the majority of my life. I haven't always known how to reach it. What it is that I seek inside of me to be okay. Because sometimes just being okay is as wonderful as it gets. Going for a walk out in nature, maybe by myself, maybe with someone else. Just going for a walk and being with nature, being part of. Being able to sit down and listen. Just listen. Maybe listen to the silence. Maybe it isn't silent. Is that where it begins? Is that where I first begin to see the essence of what's inside of me? And how what I seek is not external? Is it maybe in the morning when I start with a few thoughts about prayer, meditation, yoga? Yoga is a wonderful way for me to go inside, to go internal, to find that essence inside of me that I want to connect with. Because it's about connecting with this essence. It's one thing that it is inside of each one of us. What we need in our lives is already inside of us. It's about connecting with it so we recognize it and we can learn to experience it. Maybe that's how we learn to share it with others. The people that resonate with you in this lifetime, are they people that have that inside of them? And you seek to have that inside of you, or to recognize or connect with that essence that's inside of you, so you like to be around people that are connected to that essence inside of them? And are you putting yourself in front of people that do connect with that essence, do connect with the internal, because you do? I think there's many different ways to go about this. And the fact that upon awakening, I asked the Creator to guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions, and I asked that I be of service to everyone I meet. That doesn't mean just to be of service to people in my mind. I need to be of service to people in their mind. So, I start with my yoga after a couple of simple prayers. I also have another prayer that I like that I've shared recently on this podcast. And I may just say some really simple prayers in the morning. Good health, good help, good understanding. I start my yoga. If you're prejudiced against these words, and I've said this before, if you're prejudiced against words like prayer, okay, thought. I have thought. If you're less prejudiced against it, I have thoughts in the morning. If you're prejudiced against yoga, I stretch every morning. Maybe you're prejudiced against stretching. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you have disdain for people who stretch every morning. I physically stretch every morning. I call it yoga. I meditate. So I sit quiet. If you're prejudiced against the word meditate, maybe you're prejudiced against someone who sits quiet. I've seen people that need a lot of chatter. They can't have any silence. Who speaks first? Real quick like. They're totally prejudiced against the silence. I probably once was. I am not today. I sit in silence to the best of my ability. I call it meditation. Now, I may have a mantra that I like. I've shared some mantras with people. I think that sometimes you have the ability to be able to go in and find what you need. I've given you some examples on what I do each day on a regular basis. I have some thoughts in the morning. I do some stretching, and then I sit quiet. Those things seem to work for me to get started. Now, what more is there to do when it comes to finding the internal with everything I need? Maybe it's reaching out to others, offering someone the gift of time. Maybe it's about being able to be polite or kind. Kindness is unbelievable. When I can be kind to someone I don't know, when I can be kind to someone who has disdain, doesn't mean they stay there. Just because they come at me with disdain, when I return with disdain, they'll keep coming at me with it. When all I do is give them kindness, many of them break through and let go of that disdain. This is an internal thing. This has taken some work for me to get there. This isn't something that I was just born with and I was gifted and I've walked through life like this. I've carried much disdain. I've carried anger. I've carried resentment. I've carried fear to a point that I don't even recognize fear. I can't even see resentment. I've carried so much shame that it weights me down and I can't move. I've carried all that. I don't have a need for it today. I am free. I'm free from resentment. I'm free from shame. I'm free from fear. I am free to connect with the internal so I can give it away. So I have gifts for everyone that I meet in a given day. Sometimes it's a smile. Sometimes it's a greeting. It may be a handshake. Maybe many different things. I get together with people and I do certain ancient ceremonies. It's important to show up good. It's easy to show up good when the internal is good. Now, being an empath, I sometimes connect to the emotion around me. I can even see it through video sometimes, and I can feel it. It's just overwhelming, especially emotion of sadness and tears. Very overwhelming for me. I can connect with it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I might be doing an ancient ceremony with someone and feel very much so what's being felt by other people. And then I express that. I may relate it to certain things in my life so that I'm not pulling other people out. It's a way to work with the internal. And when you're an empath and you're working with internal, be careful. Be generous with other people. Be kind. Kindness is generosity. There are many different ways to be generous. Generous with our emotions, generous with other people's emotions is very important. I say it because it's important. It's important for you to recognize it. It's important for you to change it if you need to. And if it's something that resonates with you and something that you do, it's important that you continue to do it. Know that the emotion that other people feel is important. They're valued. They have value. Their emotions have value, and they as individuals have value. It's important for me to be able to see the truth. It's important for me to be able to find the truth. And I want to find it within you. I want to be able to look you in the eye. I want to be able to tell you I love you. I respect you. I want to be able to be kind, courteous, gentle, respectful. I have much to learn to carry these things. And I have learned much to be able to carry these things. I do not want to think that I have it figured out, because then I will begin to take something for granted, and that I do not need to do. I need to take nothing for granted. I need to act as if I don't have anything figured out. I am just learning along the way. Hopefully learning along with you. Learning next to you. Walking shoulder to shoulder through this journey we call a lifetime. And when I get to take that last breath, I get to take that long journey, and I look forward to it. And until then, I am forever a student. Here on this podcast of Catch It, A New Perception, I am a student. And moving forward, if I have anything to teach, it's because of the space and energy that you carry. You may or may not be the student. You may or may not be the teacher. Show me who you are. Be authentic. Be as real as you can be with everyone in your life. The more authentic you are, the more people will appreciate you long term. Take care of your spirit today. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world.